Can you tell us what happened, love? You on any medication? The pill?
The pill?
Look after that pretty face, all right?
What?
Ruby, get me an ice pack.
Shall I pick up your dry cleaning as well?
She's a lady.
Damien, what?
Oh no! Pause. They're ruining Tom Jones. She's a lady. F this hard. I did not watch this because you specifically instructed me not to watch this. Lane, the brain. Is this because you believe it will make me mad and you guys all get a kick out of that?
I can't imagine you're going to have a good time with it.
All right. So yesterday, Netflix released a trailer for its newest, I guess, feminist romp titled. How long is the trailer?
It's too long. Yeah, but it's 2.5 minutes.
Ladies First, with Rosamund Pike and Sacha Baron Cohen, who always does one accent.
Once upon a time, there was a man named Damien.
Ruby, I've got a high priority project for you.
You cannot legally make me break up with one of your girlfriends again.
He was an arsehole.
Fortunately, this story is also about a woman named Alex.
We're meeting up later at the pub for happy hour.
Oh, wow. I think my happy hour days might be long behind me.
Oh, I wasn't inviting you.
Ooh.
The clients want to increase their female market share. Above all, women just want to feel heard, right?
I think they want to be heard.
Alex, I'm in the middle of an idea, but it's so good to have you in the room. I really appreciate it.
Of course. But in reality, she'd go to HR and have his job in about 2 weeks. Was that Lauren Southern?
There you go. Can you tell us what happened, love? You on any medication? The pill?
The pill?
Look after that pretty face, all right?
What?
Ruby, get me an ice pack.
Shall I pick up your dry cleaning as well?
She's a lady.
Damien, what?
Oh no! Pause. They're ruining Tom Jones. She's a lady. F this hard. Ridiculous. One of my favorites. I sing it to my daughter all the time. I go, "She's a lady," and she goes, "And a lady isn't mine." That's a classic. They're ruining all that is good. Play.
Well, this is my office. Please, don't laugh at me. What is this?
Jesus.
Good Lord, he needs to knock one out.
Wait, is it still a he?
Now he's a he.
I spelled my choice.
Whose fucking cat is this? She's a lady. Women are in charge here.
What? It's a smile.
Where the hell am I?
Hey, Damien. That's my girl.
How do I get out of here?
You make a change.
Is that House?
She's got style, she's got grace, she's a
Amongst these gems is the premier testicle bra. They'll make your little fellas fly.
Take me back! You stole my job.
You need to relax.
I'm just getting started.
You see the plums on that?
He wants to sit at the big girls' table.
The board had any balls, I'd be the CEO of my...
Had any balls? The delicate sacs that dangle from your body with the slightest tap sends you weeping to the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she's a lady.
Tough lady, weak men.
Can you change your tie?
No, I'm a man.
Father f***er.
I think it looks great.
It looks like a Freaky Friday mixed with a modern version of What Women Want, and it didn't go very well, just to be clear. They've already tried mixing those films in the past.
Oh, that's boring clothes. What am I scaring you? Want me to scare you? Bow, bow, bow!
We just couldn't pass up the opportunity. And here's the thing, too. What Women Want, actually, that's a pretty... It still has kind of a feminist message, but at least back then, there was some semblance of accepting biological realities. In other words, this guy was a chauvinist, Mel Gibson in What Women Want. And once he became a woman, he sort of learned how to interpret women's interactions with the world and appreciate them in a different way. But it still was approached from a feminine perspective. This is the problem with the left, right? This same issue they have with transgenderism. There is no scientific basis for it whatsoever. You won't find a study. You won't find any evidence that you could have the wrong brain and the wrong body. It's not a thing. We have plenty of evidence to the contrary. It's rooted in anti-science. It's rooted in modern day occultism. Same thing here. Let's just make it so women are physically stronger, and women are more aggressive, and women are more assertive, and women function as a unit better than men. That's not a thing. It doesn't exist. It will never happen. If you want to do a swapping roles where a man learns what it's like to be a woman and a woman, but you still do have to have some through line of reality, That's why it doesn't work, and that's why I guarantee you it won't be funny. Keep in mind, men make up, remember, 96% of construction workers, good paying jobs, over 90% of workplace deaths, 80% of suicides. Though women attempt it at almost the same rate, they're just not as good at it.
Why is society just the exact same, but women are earning it? Why is
because,
it not
do you want to know why? That's a very good, you know why? Because we've had a few instances throughout history where women were in charge. Did you guys know this?
They mentioned Queen's Cross instead of King's Cross, and they were doing all these burger. The Queen of England was literally the monarch.
There were times where women were in charge, and guess what? It was ended quickly because of unfettered cruelty and brutality. We should do a segment on that, specifically going through those instances throughout history. That's
Catherine
why they
Great,
whitewashed Cleopatra. Cleopatra was an opium whore who had a gourd of bees as a dildo, okay? That was her big claim to fame. Just to be clear, if you look throughout, the women were far, far more brutal, and the women had a far, far lower threshold of tolerance for any type of disloyalty, any type of criticism. This idea that if women were in charge, we would have no wars, it's just not true. For more proof of that, see any women's group, book club, Bible study, they don't last as long like a men's group, a men's fishing group, it'll last forever until someone moves away.
Hillary Clinton said she would go to war with Iran in her campaign.
Hillary Clinton would go to war with everyone.
Yeah, I know.
You want to tell me she's peaceful? So no, when women, the big thing is they don't function as a unit the same way in a unit because of the system of hierarchies. And this is something too I do want to hit, and we have to get going pretty soon because I have to go do someone else's show here today. This whole alpha, beta thing that people like the Dan Bilzerian stuff throw out, that's also bullshit. The idea that there's one alpha and everyone else is a beta. That's not even how it works, by the way, in wolf packs, to be clear. There's a pecking order, kind of top of the pack, middle of the pack, bottom of the pack. But the idea of one designated alpha, no, there are those who are more leadership inclined. Men are constantly in a system of hierarchies and submitting to authority while deferring. I mean, you can have a man who's a CEO, who's a billionaire, but he goes to church, he submits to the authority of his priest or of his pastor. Same thing if you have, for example, someone who is a star athlete. Guess what? He has to submit to the authority of his sponsorship. This happens. Men are okay with going, I'm good at this, in this area, I'm the leader, you're better here, could you please help? I will follow you. It doesn't really happen with women with the same regularity. And they often want to have a conversation about it. So when we talk about women, even in combat, we're not just talking about physical frailty in comparison, though of course that's a reality. We're talking about men being hardwired to function as a unit to the degree where even if we disagree and we don't like somebody, we can function with them. Men can do that. It's very, very difficult for women to. Now, if you put them in charge, where it's, let's say, exclusively women, in Congress, in the Senate, in Parliament, or if you're under a monarchy, where you have a queen and they largely appoint women in charge, they don't work as well together because they haven't gone through their entire life with the conditioning of a fluid hierarchical structure. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like, it's not that he told me to flank right, it's the way he told me to flank the enemy right.
Right.
But it's just also misplaced because in the world we live in today where they're trying to sell this, women, especially younger women, are drastically outperforming men. They're in positions of leadership. They're earning more. They're getting better education. So it should fall on deaf ears at this point, but they keep trying to shove this message down the consumer's throat.
Yeah, but here's what happens, though, long term. You're right, but that's because they're placed in higher education. As far as examples like STEM fields, they will thrust a woman in there. They want a boss babe CEO, but what are the mental health outcomes? Worse. What's the longevity in those careers? Significantly shorter. What are the sick days? Significantly higher. In other words, women have been told this is great, it'll be fulfilling, so they've been given assistance, while men have had to clear an even higher bar, and women are less happy than ever. Women are less happy than ever right now. That's a fact. So whatever it is that we're doing is not working.
It's not working for anybody.
No, and they'll go, well, let's just make women in charge of everything. But hold on a second. Women, feminists, have been in charge culturally in the United States of those societal structures. Anyone who wants to argue since the 1960s that we have not grown up in an incredibly anti-masculine, feminized society, especially with public school, especially with Hollywood, you're out of your mind. And it's gotten worse. Now you're saying, let's just put more of them in charge in government. It will be a catastrophe the way it always has been. Checks and balances. Men and women balance each other out. And I don't even think that balance should take place, by the way, in positions of authority. I think that balance should take place in the home, and I think it should take place where certain positions of authority are reserved exclusively for men who will flourish in that role, and there are other roles for women in the professional space, in the domestic space. There are roles for both of us. We were happier. Sociologically, we were much better off, and men and women had longer-lasting marriages. Here's a quote from The Rock, who, by the way, is all natural. He said, talking about his new live-action Moana movie, he said, all men of all ages, we should empower and support, champion all women. That's what real masculinity looks like. And The Rock has a very long history of supporting and empowering all women. Just to be clear.
Shut up, bitch!
Yeah.
All women.
All women. Would you ever see women need to support and empower all men? Himmler? It's just such a stupid phrase. It's such a stupid phrase. And then how much?
Well, there is a comparison to that. The opposite is all men suck.
Yeah.
Why are men? All men are rapists. All men are or know a rapist.
Right.
All men are bad.
And then these same feminists, you know what they'll say? They'll say, well, women are more capable of nuance. You know what? I want to prove that that's not true. First off here, all women. Believe all women. Champion all women. That sound like nuance to you? Here's what they do. The left says nuance when they don't have an answer. They go, it's quite a bit more nuanced than that. There is nobody less nuanced in approaching a political or social issue than a leftist feminist. I'll prove it to you. Let's go back to that clip, that Weijin 69. Right. Weijin 69. I want you to listen to what she says here.
So I'm Asian, my dad is white, my mom is Chinese, and I think my dad is a white supremacist. For quite a while, I was in denial about this. You know, I always thought, like, that's not possible. Like, there's no way my dad is a white supremacist when my mom is literally not white and she's Chinese. I think white supremacy
so here's the part. Watch.
When white people inherently believe they're superior to other races because they're white. When they think of white supremacy, they immediately might think of, I don't know, neo-Nazis, Proud Boys, Donald Trump, MAGA, all of that, right?
Okay, that's enough. You guys, so think about that. This woman who went, when you think what, she defined it correctly. Yeah, people who think they're inherently superior because of their race. When you think of white supremacists, you think of, then she names the actual, by definition, white supremacists, neo-Nazis. Sure. Then she goes, and then you also think Proud Boys, Donald Trump, over half of the voting public. And then she'll tell you about nuance. Mm-hmm. If you say, well, where does life begin? It's quite a bit more nuance in there. Oh, you mean more nuance than everyone who votes Donald Trump is a white supremacist? Well, hold on a second. What about the fact that single moms are far more likely to abuse their children emotionally, physically, and, well, it's quite a bit more nuanced than that. More nuanced than empower all women? Nuance, when they say that, is a weaponization of their own ignorance. Don't allow them to use it. It's one of the favorite phrases of the left and specifically feminists. Well, hold on a second. Tell me about patriarchy and where it exists. Which systemic structures today? Well, it's more nuanced than go, well, explain to me the nuance. Call them out because it's destroying everything that makes this country great. There are some issues that are nuanced. I've maintained this since you've known me. Issues of national security, issues of international conflict. Those are nuanced. Why? Because these aren't necessarily hard sciences, for example. Your estimate, okay, what kind of shared values do we have? What kind of shared interests? Where might we not align? At what point do we cross the Rubicon here where maybe we're beyond the point of no return and we want to de-escalate, but we may need to engage in conflict before it fully escalates. Escalation temporarily may lead to long-term de-escalation. No, these same women go, code pink, all war bad. That's an area where there is nuance. You know it because you've actually been in battle, right? Sometimes you have to make judgment calls.
Yeah.
There's no nuance on penis vagina. There's no nuance on men can do more pull-ups. There's no nuance on men are better at certain things than women, and only women can give birth. There's no nuance. So please stop with weaponizing your ignorance and using that cloak of nuance. We're not buying it anymore. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, you can click around and watch one of these videos on YouTube, or head on over to Rumble and subscribe, where I am live every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Live on Rumble. YouTube is dead. Rumble did it. And on Rumble, you can say